Well, hi y'all, are? It's your native Flor-xan, and today we're going to be steaming some clams and making another dish with them. So hang in there and let's get into it. So what I got here is a little boiling pot I got just for making 1 or 2 servings of stuff, and it came with this steamer basket. So I got about a cup of water in there. I'm just going to do some plain water. We're going to get this going. Once it starts steaming real good, then we'll drop our clams in there and get them to cooking. Now while our pot's coming up to temp here, I want to show you, these are some cherry stone clams that come from Massachusetts. They happen to have them. Every now and then the grocery store will get some good sized clams like this. And so we're just going to steam them in our pot. I might have to do it in a couple of batches, but these have been on ice. I just took them out. They're still real cold. Cleaned them up, but since we wasn't going to eat them today, I'm going to go ahead and cook them tonight, clean them out, and then put the meat up in the fridge, and then tomorrow we'll make our dish with them. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but our pot's steaming up now. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to try to get at least 4 of these in here. I don't think I'll get all 5. I actually bought a half a dozen, and one of them, the shell was broke when I took it out of the bag, so we're not gonna mess around with that. Now this generally takes, steam them for 8 to 12 minutes, and how you know they're done is the shells will open up on them. Alright folks, so you can see these are done opened up. I was timing it while they were cooking, and it took right at 7 minutes in my little pot here. So I'm gonna take these out. I got one here. It opened, it's just barely open. But I'm gonna put the last one in there, let it cook up, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do from there. Alright, so while that last one's cooking up, I'm just gonna take, they make clam knives, all I have is an oyster knife, but we're just gonna take and remove them from that bottom shell. Now I got one side of this that I've kind of sharpened up a little bit, but they'll come right out. Now we're going to keep these shells, and you'll see why when we get back to this tomorrow. Alright, I actually heard it pop when it opened up. There's that last one. I'll get it cleaned up and put with the rest of them, and then we'll be back with you tomorrow when we go to make the dish that I'm intending to make with these. Alright, so it's the next day, and I'm going to get started with sauteing some onions and peppers. And if you hadn't figured out what we're doing yet, we're going to make some stuffed clams with the clams that we cooked yesterday, and take our saved shells and pack them in there, and that's how we're going to cook them in the oven. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to cook some onions and peppers, and I'm still trying out my little pot here. I didn't really show it, but that's the name brand of it, and I got it for just making small meals or doing stuff like this, and so far I kind of like it, but I'm still testing it out. I've done steaming in it and a little bit of boiling water and stuff like that. Now we're going to see if it'll saute. So just a little avocado oil, and I got some pre-cut onions and peppers. Dump them in there. Let's get them cooking. Well, there you go. Our peppers and onions are cooked all the way through. Actually put just a little bit of color to them for this. If you just want to cook them till they're translucent, you can do it like that too, but I wanted a little bit of color to it. So we're just going to turn this off, let this cool while we work on the rest of this. Alright, so I got our clams we cooked up. I'm just going to give them a rough chop just to cut them down in size. And I know already that this wasn't going to be enough, so I opened and drained a can of baby clams to add to this. Okay, so there we go, got them all cut up. Gonna add them to our canned clams. Now mainly, you know, I would have liked to have done this with all the cherry stones, but the 6 at the store was all they had, and then again we had the one with the broke shell, so, but this will work out just fine. So what I like to use is this crab cake mix, as Zatarain's. This is the one I prefer. And then whether you're making crab cakes or whatever with this, I made a few other things with this mix, but it calls for a pound of proteins. So we've got about 11 ounces, and then we're going to add the onions and peppers. I think we'll be just fine with this. All right, so the directions call for 1 egg beaten. Just going to whip that up real quick. Then 2/3 a cup of mayonnaise. So I'm just going to kind of mix this in a little bit. Then we're going to add probably not all these onions and peppers, but a good couple of heaping spoonfuls. Mix that around. Then we're going to add our clam meat. This is again our cherry stone clams and a can of baby clams. Then we'll add our Zatarain's mixture to that. Fold that in. If you're using this with crab meat, you really want to fold it so you don't break up your crab meat real bad. But for the clams, or if you're using this with shrimp or whatever else, you're probably okay if you kind of get a little rough with it. Just going to kind of run it down, make sure I get all the dry incorporated in. And there you have it. All right, so we got that mixed in almost there, but I'm going to go ahead and add some coastal seasoning. This is our local grocery store coastal blend. It's kind of like Old Bay mixed with a few other ingredients. So we're just going to liberally put this in there and get these seasoned up. Okay, so I got our shells that we held on to, and I'm just going to grab this mixture. I'm just using a glove just to kind of make it a little bit cleaner. I'm just going to stuff them just like that. And then whatever's left over, if there is any left over, I'll probably just make some normal patties like you would a crab cake. I'm going to go ahead and cook a couple of them in my toaster here. Now, what is good about this, you can make these up and put them in a freezer. What I recommend doing is putting them on a pan in a freezer, let them get good and hard, and then bag them up and put them in your vacuum seal bag or whatever kind of bag you like. But I would get them in the freezer, let them get good and hard first before I did that. I'm gonna go ahead and keep stuffing on these and be back with you here shortly. Well, there you go, folks. We got 6 here, and then I got 2 that I'm gonna go ahead and stick in my oven here and cook them up so y'all can see that. But these other 6, that's in a perfect amount for dinner one night. So I'm gonna get them on a sheet pan, put them in the freezer, and again, once they get hardened up, then I'll vacuum seal them, and they'll be good to go for a couple of months until we're ready to cook them up. All right, so my toaster oven just went ding. Now I cooked these on 425 for 25 minutes. What we're looking for is an internal of 160 to 165. These are well over that. They're good and done. I'm gonna take and just brush them with a little bit of butter. You could do a little white wine butter if you want, with a little lemon juice in it, but I'm kind of cooking different things today since I got to go out of town tomorrow, so trying to get some videos in. A squeeze of lemon, and there you have it, our clam cakes. You know, up north they got what they call stuffed quahogs, which is a clam about this size. These happen to be the cherry stone. Of course, we added a can of baby clams to it, but those are really good. If you get a chance to make it up on the eastern seaboard, I recommend around, you know, Boston and up around Maryland all the way up to Maine. If you see stuffed clams, I recommend you try it out. But just gonna break into one of these and let's give her a taste. Now, I know this is nuclear hot, but that was real good. That little butter and that little bit of lemon on top. Clams are not chewy. Really good. Man, I outdid myself on that one. But hey folks, next time you're at the seafood market and you see some clams or see something different you never cooked before,
Give them a try. You might surprise yourself. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all you subscribers out there. I really appreciate your support, and we'll see you on the next one.